Sis, it's your girl Rack Famous Star. Oh, there's like a shadow on my face, but I don't know, whatever. Alright, so this is the recap vlog for episode 13 of Big Brother. I'm just kind of like, my mind is kind of frazzled right now because I was doing a quiz for one of my classes. And the screen just exited and he's not, I mean, luckily my professor can reset it tomorrow and I can do it tomorrow, but it just threw off my whole Thursday. But here I am. I'm talking about episode 13. So if my mind is kind of just like, that's what I'm thinking about. Alright, so I was originally going to record this tomorrow because I was dead set on doing the quiz and going to sleep, but now that I have all this time, might as well do it now. Alright, so it left off with Natalie, Tiffany, and Corey on the block, with Corey being the Roadkill nominee. Natalie basically has to just lay low, and she will get through the week. So it is a tip-off between Tiffany and Corey. And Corey was put on the block just because, by Tiffany, because she was trying to get the heat off her back and trying to put someone up that's a bigger target than herself and give her a chance. Okay, so Nicole was crying about Corey being on the block. And I don't know about you, but that kind of like, it bothered me. I don't want to say pissed me off, but it really bothered me. Because it's like, I understand, you know, like, you don't want to go. Well, no, she wasn't crying because she would go up. She was crying because it's Corey and she really likes him. And it was just like, girl, bring it back. You know, like, you can't go gung-ho for this person. Like, yeah, he probably has your back. But to cry because he's on the block, like, it wasn't like, I'm sad. It was like tears weeping from her eyes. Alright, so, Polly, I don't know how I feel about this next part, so, I don't know. Polly was trying to rattle Tiffany before the Roadkill reveal, and he was just like, I'm better than you. I got you. You know, like, who you gonna put up? Who you gonna put up? And it was in front of the whole house, because they were all sitting there before the Roadkill reveal. And I don't know how I felt like that was a little bullying. Like, the girl's already down. And luckily, Tiffany took it like a champ and was just like, what are you talking about? You know, like, you scared of a girl. I didn't really like her comeback either. I felt like she could have made it a lot more, like, powerful. But then again, she's not the best speaker. So, you know, whatever. All right, so yeah, like I said, I don't know how I feel about it. I hope this isn't like the side of Polly that we just don't get to see all the time. Even though I'm not saying we get to see the best side of Polly, but, you know, we've gotten to see like a chill side of Polly. Like, you know, he's really into that. But, yeah, I think we've got to see an okay side of him. So I'm hoping this isn't like a pattern. I hope this is just like he's HOH, so he feels like he can do that type thing. Oh, I didn't like him. You know, he says type thing a lot. All right. So now there's kind of like not a clear divide yet, but because it's not a clear divide because of the teams, because of these, you know, travel teams that they're on. But the sides of the house pretty much are Polly and his like gang of minions. No, I don't even want to say gang of minions because they're not like just followers, you know. But they are like on his like team, quote unquote, in his alliance. Versus Frigid, which is Frank and Bridget. I should copyright that. And Tiffany. So Frigid and Tiffany are together. Just because Tiffany has no one else. And Frank is willing to work with her because he realizes that he kind of does need numbers. He will need numbers. Corey is not convinced that Tiffany is the Roadkill winner. He's just like, she's the worst of competition. How could she beat all of us? Like, she's not good. So he's just not convinced. I have on here that Frank was talking with Corey, and I forgot where I was going to go with this because right after that, Frank was talking with Davon about nothing, and he was just like, so where your head's at? And she was like, I don't really want to, like, I know what I'm going to do, and I don't really want to talk about it until then, And I felt like Davon could have been, I'm not saying share your business with Frank because don't, but the way she's like treating people, and like I know she's trying to play a different game than she did last time because she went home so quick because of that, but I think that she could be a little bit more like fake to people and just kind of just I don't know, like you got to be careful what you say to people, but give them what they want to hear and then let them go away. So yeah. All right. So just a little break in the game. I guess Paul is the BB muffin man. He's like making these muffin creations, which I thought was cool. I wonder how. I mean, there's no like recipe book, so he must just be like mashing these ingredients in a bowl. I wonder how people. It must be ingredients that people aren't really like bothered by that go missing. Not missing, but for someone to just, what if he messes up, or what if it doesn't work, or what if I don't know, but they seem cool. I wonder if they're good. Maybe BB can share a recipe. So the veto was called a Scooper Star. These names this season are like hitting it out the park for me. I like it. So they're like, who wants to be a Scooper Star? Of course, the four nominees, not the four nominees, Polly, Tiffany, Natalie, Corey were playing because three of them were on the block and one was HOH. And then Davon got picked, and then Paul got picked. And then previously, Paul, Corey, and Polly were talking, and they were like, Paul was like, well, if you throw it to me, I can take Corey off, and then we'll both be safe, and then, you can put up whoever you want. And everyone was good with that because, I don't know why really they were good with that, but, well, Polly didn't put Corey up, so that does make sense. But, yeah, they were good with it. They were going to throw it, if they could, to Paul. So the players, the veto challenge was they were put in like an order, and you had to challenge another person, and you had to there was a picture, and then there was 3 sets of scoops. There was a pink, chocolate, and like pistachio, maybe not pink, strawberry. And then the picture showed up, and you had to transfer the scoops to match the picture, and ring in before your partner. So unless you got eliminated, then you basically went in your turn. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. It seemed cool. Like, it seemed, as long as you weren't a complete idiot. Like, I felt like this was something I could have done. There's definitely some challenges that I'm like, oh, hell no, I can't do that. But this is something that, as long as you can breathe, then you'd be fine. But Corey ended up winning. I feel like this is possibly the one and only challenge that Corey is actually good at. So let's give him his moment. And he was actually unsure of if he was going to use it or not. Which, don't be a Marcellus. Like, Big Brother fans know when he said, I just can't close it, and got evicted. Like, don't pull a Marcellus, and don't pull, there's no one that he would use it on, but you remember when Brendan used it on Rachel, and I think he went home after that. But it's just like, don't. Just use it on yourself. That's what you do. You win the veto, and you use it on yourself. Unless, like, your child is on the block, or even if it was my husband, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I'm the better chance. I'm the better chance of life, you know? All right, so since it's obvious to pretty much everyone else, since Corey's going to pull himself off the block, Tori wants to put a bigger target than herself so she can possibly stay safe. And so she was thinking about things, and Davon was in the bathroom. I thought she was brushing her teeth, but it ended up being a lollipop. I guess she was like tweezing her eyebrows or something. She's scared that she may go up as a replacement nominee, and Tiffany was kind of like, why is she so scared? She knows I won. Why is she so scared? And it's just like, because you only have a simple pool of people to pick from. I mean, I don't think Davon should have been as scared. I think Davon really should have talked to her like a person, even if you don't trust her, and said like, hey, I would really appreciate not going with the block, you know, like, I don't know. And so, I don't know. I think she handled the whole thing out of proportion. She was crying after the veto. So yeah, but Paulie is dead set. He was like, it doesn't matter who she puts up. She could put up you. He was talking about people in the room. He's like, he could put up any of y'all, but we know what we're doing. Tiffany's going home. And Tiffany was really considering, she's really considering putting Davon up because she feels like Davon screwed her over, and that she could be potentially a bigger threat. And so the veto ceremony happens, and Corey used it on himself. Duh. And Davon was named the replacement nom. I felt like this was gonna happen. I feel bad for her. But I feel like she can't be all cryy about it. She just kind of needs to pick herself up and make sure that she has the votes, but not be too paranoid about it. And know who to ask. Like, maybe talk to Frank about it so he's not like, she thinks she has my vote, you know? And definitely not vote for you. But anyway, so Davon and her DR, she calls Tiffany a cheap knockoff version of her sister. My jaw went, you know, like, I was just like, oh my God, you know, because you know Vanessa's watching, like, Friends. No, you know, like, if somebody ever called me that, or my sister that, I'd be like, what? You know? So that was just crazy. She did a hair flip, and it like grazed her shoulder with her braids. But I don't know. I think I still would say Tiffany is going home. Davon would be a tempting offer to go home. But I would personally vote out Tiffany because she's been blowing up people's games left and right. Like, she blew up Davon's in a matter of a few days. So, I mean, you never know. But I would vote out Tiffany. I don't know if I really have a favorite yet. I don't want to I don't want to get involved in the whole, like, Paulie situation. As much as I hate to say it, Paul is really growing on me. I think he's funny. He lost that, like, bossy attitude. And I kind of like Michelle. So I guess we'll see in these next few weeks. Like, whoever gets Frank out will probably be my favorite. So, I think that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and you're welcome. Bye.